Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I would like to say thank you for your presence in this class. It's such a great honor to meet you here. So, allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Muhammad Hikmal and people usually call me Hikmal. I'm delighted to be here today to tell you about Thor's characterization analysis in Avengers Infinity War. The goal of this presentation to describe the character of one of the main characters, namely Thor, and also the representation of the superhero formula from Thor. This presentation will take about 12 until 15 minutes. There will be a questions and answer session after my presentation. If you have questions, please leave them until the end of the presentation. This presentation consists of 4 sections. First, I will start by talking about introductions. After that, I will elaborate the research method. Then, I will focus on findings and discussions. And finally, I will end with the conclusions. So, let's begin this with the first part, introduction. For all of people who like movies, especially the action genre, you must be familiar with Marvel, which at the beginning of their career only released comics. The main series of shows from this company is called the MCU, or we can say that Marvel Cinematic Universe. The MCU and other Marvel stories are referred to as the superhero action genre that has the most audience. One of the Marvel films that are quite popular with the general public, but from lovers to people who do not understand Marvel, is Avengers Infinity War. This film is a sequel to 2012's The Avengers and 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron. Infinity War is a film that unites all superheroes in Marvel to fight against the main enemy, Thanos with his right hand, namely the Black Order, which consists of Corvus Glaives, Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, and Cube Obsidians. From these hands, it was very easy for Thanos to get all the Infinity Stones. This research was conducted by researchers because there is one character who is quite prominent in the film, and in this study we describe the character of one of the main characters, namely Thor, and also a representation of the superhero formula from Thor. Now, we move to the next slide. Let me show you what research method that used. The method used in this study is a qualitative method with 2 research approaches, namely structural to examine Thor's characters, while the literacy psychology approach uses Kugan and Cable's theory of the superhero formula. The qualitative research method is a research method that is described in Nature, uses analysis, refers to data, utilizes exciting theories or supporting material, and purpose of theory. The structural approach is the most important approach because any approach that is taken is basically based on literary work itself. The structural approach here is used to examine the character possessed by one of the characters in this film, Thor. This research data is obtained from the analysis of the film directly. Okay, let's now move to finding and discussions. As you can see on the screen, there are 4 reasons why many people loves Marvel movies. The first one is stunning visuals. The first reason that makes Marvel movies so popular is because of the stunning visuals and CGI. Every fictional scenes and setting seems real, so it can be categorized as perfect. Marvel often features super technological advances. That way, it can make the audience feel alive, feel the sophisticated tools. No wonder, during the film, many of them were amazed. Okay? Secondly, interesting plots and characters. Marvel movie storylines are considered interesting. Although the action genre, they do not only present fighting scenes. In between always inserted drama or background that make it different. In addition, the characters also attract a lot of them. Also attract a lot of fans. But from apparent strange name to origins. Some enemies in Marvel are even like it, such as Loki, Hela, Agatha, Mysterio, Green Goblins, and others. Third, selection of appropriate players. Marvel is said to competent is choosing actors that match the characters in the comics. So, it's no wonder that the series of films made by them are very popular with fans and audience alike. The performances of the players always make an impression of the hearts of the audience, even making them synonymous with the role. One example. Recently, there was news that the role of the Iron Man, or can we call Tony Stark, will be replaced by another actor. Fans still find it difficult to accept because the figure of Robert Downey Jr. is already attached as the Iron superhero. Lastly is theories. Theories are usually followed by post credits. Some of the footage saved at the end of the film. This short video leads to the continuations of the story in the upcoming sequel, so this certainly invites a lot of questions and thought from fans. Next, go to the new slide. Okay, now look at this slide. Thor has 4 characters. Namely, Thor is the main character for the first character in the Infinity Wars film, where the main story is about fighting Thanos. Thor, Chris Hemsworth, is playing a major role in fighting Thanos. His magical power is also a mainstay in Avengers Infinity War. Thor's heroic actions make his figure appear repeatedly. Thor appeared for 15 minutes, 30 seconds. And then what? And then Thor is the protagonist. I said before that Thor is one of the main characters in this Infinity War film. So of course, he has a protagonist role. After that, Thor is a flat character. In this film, Thor is described as a flat character, starting from the initial scene where it is shown that Thor is grieving because he lost his brother. So from here, it is seen that Thor tries to take revenge from the beginning to the end of the film. Fourth, just as it said that Thor's character is flat, Thor's character type is also silent or static throughout the film. Alright, we jump to the analysis of the presentation of the superhero formula or protagonist, and there are 3 points we have obtained namely missions. As a superhero who has the character of the protagonist in this film, Avengers occupies the main role with a mission to defeat and stop the action of Thanos, who wants to take all the stone power rings to control the universe, and which will certainly destroy the order of life. Afterwards, Strange, as the main characters, they excel with the strengths. They each have such as Doctor Strange and the Time Stone. Instant Sleep Mantis, and then Spider-Man Sense on Titans, God Thought of Ragnarok, Scarlet Witch, with have the hyper telekinesis plus mind manipulation and many more. Therefore, customs. The customs used by the Avengers also follow developments. There is always something new in each series by following technological development, and this can be seen from the new Iron Man customs with wings. Spider-Man was given a new costume by Tony Stark with a gold color and a distinctive blue-red color. So this new custom design is influenced by Tony Stark as Iron Man. And then after conducting a survey involving 40 people, okay, we move to the next slide. So it can be concluded that Thor character in Avengers Infinity War is one of the fan favorite characters with a percentage of 35%. So this Venn diagram tells us about the character with the viewers fans is Hulk with a total percentage of 2.5%. So now have a look at Captain America and Spider-Man, which have the same percentage of 32.5%, or we can round it up to 23%. Likewise, the superheroes Black Widow and Scarlet Witch, whose percentage in the same, namely 7.5%, or we can round to 8%. Nice. Next slide is table 1. Okay, table 1 is enthusiasm to watch Avengers Infinity War. Let me quickly explain that the fans who are not enthusiastic had a few with a percentage of 7.5%. In contrary, fans who are enthusiastic has a rich amount, about 27 people. Ladies and gentlemen, finally we come to the last part of my presentation. To sum up, we can conclude that the MCU and other Marvel stories are referred to as the superhero action genre that has the most audience. Thor has 4 characters, namely Thor is the main character, Thor is the protagonist, Thor is a threat character, and because at the beginning of that scene, it is shown that Thor is grieving because of the loss of his brother. So he tries to take revenge from the beginning to the end of the film. Thor is also a static character in the film. And in the analysis of the representation of the superhero formula or protagonist, their points are obtained, namely missions, strength, and customs. Well, if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them now. Are there more questions? No? Okay, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your listening and your attention. May all those I have shared be beneficial for all of us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.